Okay, Nick and Andy, I'm going to ask you the one question that every single Arsenal fan always seems to ask any journalist: are we going to sign a forward? Because that's what they need, right? I think, that is the missing piece of the jigsaw, has been for some time now. It's kind of how we see them just behind Liverpool in the title race at the moment, with not being clinical, not having the extra options in attack. And it's just been their Achilles heel for probably 12 to 18 months, Nick, and probably Kai Havertz's form at the end of last season and the start of this season just pushed it down the road a little bit in the business they need to do. But we're seeing it now that they really do need to do some business in the final days of the January window. But I guess who could they actually sign? I mean, Benjamin Sesko, again, long link, doesn't seem like he's going to arrive in January. Matheus Cunha seems like he could. There's a lot of issues there with Wolves, it seems, about signing this new contract. A lot of bigger teams sniffing around him. What do you think about this situation for Arsenal? Is this a must for them to sign a new striker in January? Because for me, I feel like it is. If they've got any chance, which they do, of winning the title, sort of now or never. I don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get to be this close to winning the Premier League title. But then they should, if they can do it with the finances, they should act now, right?
Yeah, look, I won't get the sick glee from it that Andy will when I say this, but the funniest thing that happens every window is who could we possibly afford? It's so hard to get a center forward. It's so hard to do this. And then Man City goes and buys a guy for 60 million or whatever. I mean, Marmoush would have been great. And you know what the price might have been. It might have been less because it's Arsenal versus City and there's the City tax, right? I don't understand Arsenal's plan. Everyone knows what they should probably do, and they just don't do it, and they don't even try. And in fact, it's baffling to me that there wasn't a January 1st plan because of the attackers that they were finally happy to part with in the summer. Nketiah is not going to do it, and not perfect comparison, but Reece Nelson's not going to do it. And it is crazy to me that we're sitting here late in January, and the only thing we've heard is Alexander Isak. Well, that'll be 150 million. And then maybe Sesko. I just feel like more names with real meat attached to them would have come up by now. I mean, Andy, you don't want to pile on Arsenal. I know that, but is it as strange to you as it is to me?
It is, yeah. But I have my own complaints about another club from North London and the way that they didn't have transfer business ready to roll on January 1st or January 10th or January 20th or maybe January 31st. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, it is difficult in the middle of the season. Obviously, you've got, especially for Arsenal, you're in a title challenge this season. You're trying to win the Champions League this season. You're trying to win the domestic cup. There's a lot on your plate, and so you need a big squad of players, but there's only so few, I think, that really fit into not just the style that Arsenal are playing, but the level that they're playing at as well. And those players obviously come with massive, incredible price tags, and we've heard some of those numbers thrown around. We know they have the money if they want to commit to it, but it does feel like, and they're not the only one, it does feel like there's a number of clubs that could use some big signings in this window and even in summer windows past that are just maybe playing it a little bit safer. I do think that the new financial regulations that the Premier League put in place has just at least given teams pause. Should we do this? Would this be the smart thing? Could this potentially come back and bite us in the end? And I think they're considering that. And maybe some are coming up on the side of, well, we know we're not going anywhere. We're competitive. We're at or about the level we want to be. We're not going to take that financial risk.
Yeah, it's a really good point. And I also wonder if Edu moving on as, a key part of their recruitment process, the decision maker there, has just come at a really bad time because they maybe don't want to act a bit, I don't know, instinctively and say we're going to go and spend loads of money without having a real proper recruitment plan, whoever's going to come in and take over that. And then you look to the summer and the likes of Jonathan David at Lille is going to be available on a free transfer. Victor Gyökeres has got a decent release clause in his contract. Isak, like you said, Nick, is going to be hugely expensive. If you could do it in the summer, maybe that's the time to do it, if it's even possible. And Vlahovic from Juventus is the only other one when maybe they could make a move in January, but still not convinced that he is exactly the kind of striker they would need. And then it's kind of, do you go down the route of staying in the Premier League and going to, I don't know, getting Matoma at Brighton as a wide forward? Do you go to Brentford and get Mbuemo or Visa for slightly less? And I feel like Trossard's been a really decent signing for them, and Martinelli is Martinelli. Neither are prolific, and I think Arsenal have made the right decision not to buy another player that's similar to their level and are waiting for that elite forward. But I'm also of the opinion that it's kind of now, right? The opportunity has risen. Liverpool have given you enough signs to say that you can make up this gap.
There's never been a better time. I mean, going back to maybe Leicester that season where it was kind of a muddle, but there has never been a better. You look at the players and read about the players that City are signing. You think about what United is about to do. I've been saying this about the top four, Chase. It is ridiculous how far down the table Spurs and Man United are. That's not probably going to happen again. In all likelihood, this is their chance. And again, I'll go to Marmoush. And I hope I'm saying his name right. I'll find out soon. But this is a player who Eintracht is third on the Bundesliga table. They're going to get a bye into the Europa League, and they were willing to sell. It's the power of the Premier League. There is someone out there, and it always seems with Arsenal, a little bit like taking Odegaard on loan first. It always seems like there's this caution there. And the Edu thing maybe makes sense, right? Maybe they are, oh man, we would have had someone lined up, but our guy left. But that didn't happen at Newcastle. It didn't happen at Brighton, oddly enough, to make an Ashworth comparison. There really isn't an excuse. And it's not that Arsenal can't win next year. They can absolutely win this year by finishing chances. Absolutely. Like, they might even become a favorite.
Yeah, and they've built the squad so brilliantly over the last 3-4 years now, just adding exactly what they need to and not being afraid of spending big money to do that as well. But yeah, it's now or never. So let's see if Arsenal do sign the striker that they need between now and the end of the January transfer window. Head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for all the latest on that. I'm sure there'll be a few more twists and turns in this one, be it short term, be it long term, be it a big money signing, be it a savvy signing. Surely Arsenal have to sign a forward to strengthen their attack and give them the best possible chance of hunting Liverpool down in the title race.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.